In the next 2 weeks, we've been warned, there's going to be darkness. We are almost at a point of grid collapse. It's a reality that South Africans must know, that we are heading to darkness, and ANC politicians are continuing business as usual, as if we are not in a crisis. We are in a deep, deep, deep crisis. Cell phone networks will not work. Water, even if we have it, we won't receive it because it needs electricity. Nothing is going to function. We are heading for a disaster worse than what COVID was. No one will go to work. The dead will have to be buried the same day because there will not be fridges to keep them. No generator is meant to operate 24 hours. Generator is an intervention for a short while. Even those who have generators will not be saved from the mess we are going into. We warned you. We went to the streets because we knew this was coming. History will absolve us. We were called names, we were ridiculed, we were insulted. Police and the army were called on us for trying to protect us from where we are. They are just calling it stage 10 for nice word. The reality is that it's darkness. And it's not going to be darkness of 12 hours or 24 hours, it comes back. No. At times it's going to take 3 to 4 days. At times it will take a week. At times it will take a month without electricity. The whole leadership must go. We cannot fall back and do nothing. And
well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was President of the EFF, Julius Malema, speaking about a possible grid collapse or a blackout in South Africa that could potentially see South Africa and South Africans being without power for extended periods of time, to the point where I think he pointed out that even mortuaries won't be able to hold bodies in the morgue for long periods of time, and people will have to be buried on the same day that they are deceased, because obviously we won't have fridges that are able to hold these, corpses in essence. And honestly, I can believe what he is saying, because I do consume quite a lot of TikTok content, and on there we're constantly seeing energy experts that have actually been interviewed by these media outlets. And I think the latest interview that I saw by an energy expert, he was speaking about the fact that Eskom was basically is unable to generate electricity supply for us at the moment, and they're currently operating at a loss of about 20,000 megawatts in terms of power. So honestly, this is just, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Obviously, we all know what we can blame. I don't think that I have to point out the obvious in this video. It's obviously incompetence and corruption that we have to blame. Things that we've been blaming for the longest periods of time, yet things that we are not actually doing anything about as just average South Africans. And that is actually displayed in our voting patterns and the people that we continue to put in power. A potential blackout in South Africa will see so many different, in my personal opinion, we'll see so many different industries collapse, will have a vast impact on the average South African person's life, because remember, South Africa's unemployment rate is already at over 50%, and especially in the youth. So we already don't have jobs. Those that are predominantly working online, either for overseas companies or even companies that are based in South Africa but operating purely online, will see a lot of job loss in the economy. And honestly, that's because if we don't have power, if we don't have electricity, and also as Julius Malema has stated, I think I also heard some people that were also stating that no inverter and no generator will be able to last you weeks at a time without electricity. So we really need to get our act together as South Africans, and we need to do more to hold these people accountable. And I know that there was an interview that the energy or electricity minister did. I'm not too sure, but I think it was with ENCA. And he basically said that he does not have the capacity to deal with the crisis. So if you don't have the capacity to deal with the crisis, allegedly, sir, why are you still in that position? Why were you appointed if you have no power to do anything allegedly, as he states he doesn't? It's honestly just such a mess. I thought that I should share this video with you today because I know that we're nearing election season. Don't listen to anyone that's going to be fake promising you anything. Look at the situation in the country right now. Look at the crime rate. Look at the economy. Look at corruption. Look at the incompetence that's happening. Look at unemployment. Look at everything that's happening in South Africa. Look at load shedding. It's become a norm. When load shedding was initially introduced in South Africa, it was only something that was supposed to happen for a short period of time. But years later, decades later, we're still dealing with load shedding. And we're mostly mum about it. All we do is just type on our keyboards, complain, write opinion pieces, release videos, but we're not actually really calling these people into question and into order. And I don't want to blame a specific South African president for load shedding, but in my personal opinion, ever since we've had our latest and current president, load shedding has hit an ultimate peak. We have never seen it this bad. And the fact that Eskom continues to lie about the actual stages that we're at is honestly so disheartening. We don't see these things, we don't notice these things because we're so hyper-focused on everything else. But without rambling too much or making this video too long, tell me what you think about this in the comment section, my darlings, and I'll see you in my next upload.